start it up? Okay. Today's Tuesday, August 18th, in the year 2026. This is the Charlton Zoning Board of Appeals. Call the meeting to order. First thing we're gonna do is that the legislature has made amendments to, you wanna take this out, and this right here. I might have an extra copy. Should be attached to your agenda, yeah.
Here's this all clipped.
Yeah, so last month, the state legislature revised chapter 40A, specifically variances and special permits. So they relaxed some of the standards for variances. If you look at page 2 or page 4 of the one that Kurt printed out for us. So, in making our determinations on a variance now, we can consider practical difficulty related to soil, shape, topography, or land structures, whether strict enforcement would pose financial hardship. We can look whether
Wait, say that again? Financial hardship can be
Yeah,
considered?
whether there's a practical difficulty on the part of the appellant that was not self-created.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, whether it can be achieved, with the petition, whether it can be achieved by some other method feasible for the appellant, or something almost like is the proposed, the petition for the variance, is it, any more detrimental to the neighborhood, almost to that same standard that way, and those are all the things now, so it's not just limited to soil, shape, topography, whatever. We also can consider housing stock.
Yeah, they seem to put in it,
Yeah,
very specific that, hey, if they're supporting the production of housing.
right, but, I don't think that, everything supports the production of housing almost, any new construction does, so.
Well, garage.
Yeah, so that, I don't think that is, we should weigh the benefits of that.
Right.
So I think if we're going to take that into consideration, and I think at least, we should have our findings of fact, why we're gonna grant something, or findings of why we wouldn't grant something, a little bit more concise, at least for the next couple of years or so, until someone sues somebody on this. Hopefully not us.
Not us.
So I don't know if you want to just take a minute, take a quick look at that,
And then-
because this is in effect right now.
And then on page 2, is that same thing, different wording?
So page 2 is special permits.
Special permits.
Special permits.
So this changes to a request for a special permit as well.
Such as complies with the current dimensional regulations.
So that part right there is that they can build, they wouldn't have to come in front of our board as a matter of right, as long as they comply with those things. So if the property was otherwise be getting a special permit, if it complies with the current dimensional regulations, height, and setback requirements, then they wouldn't even need to come to our board anymore for a special permit.
So there's no longer a continuation of pre-existing non-conforming?
It is, but so if the extension, alteration, whatever, doesn't comply with those current things, then I think they still need to come
They
here
still
for a
need to
special
come
permit.
back. Okay.
All right. We good?
There will be questions.
All right, so, first one I'm gonna call David Holmes, 24 Willis Drive. You wanna just state your name for the record?
David Holmes, 24 Willis Drive, Charlton, Mass. I'm here with my wife Dawn.
Would you wanna just tell us what you're proposed doing and why the board should grant you relief from that?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I did try to capture all my thoughts in the narrative that I attached to the application, but effectively, Mr. Maskus sent me the letter identifying 3 areas that my plans don't conform to current zoning. 2 of them I really have no control over, because they were essentially created by the town of Charlton when the zoning regulations were enacted. One being the required frontage of 175 feet when we have 41. The other, the required lot size is 60,000 square feet, and our lot is a little over 10,000. The other request that we have is for a side yard variance. Currently, the existing structure that was built approximately 1955 is 8 feet from the property line. We look to add a second floor above that, not reducing that 8 feet in any way, but only adding 1 story. And then we're looking to add a small addition for a bathroom and an entry, and then an oversized 1-car garage, which will be no closer than 10 feet to the property line. And if you noticed in my narrative that about this time last year, we went in front of Conservation Commission.
Yeah.
And with this, basically the same plan and footprint, site drawing that you're looking at now. In fact, I included the engineer Liz Dupre's drawing that was approved by the Conservation Commission. The septic system is now installed, and of course, the approved plans have been filed with the Worcester Registry of Deeds. So I was under the assumption essentially that once I get through conservation, that the next step was a building permit.
Okay. So the footprint of the existing main structure, that's not changing, correct?
No, I'm just gonna go up 1 story.
Okay, so then you're gonna put on, towards the road, a garage in a, what does it say?
An entry and a bathroom, yeah.
In an entry and a bathroom and that little space in between?
Yeah.
The shed that's there, is that staying?
The shed stays, yes.
Okay. And you're not moving the patio or the gazebo or anything like that?
I'm sorry, could you say that?
The gazebo and the patio, and that stays too?
That's sort of a future phase. I just asked Liz to include it as part of the plan.
So
for
that's not
conservation.
there right now?
No,
Okay.
no. That's not critical in any way. That wouldn't ask for any variance for those items, just basically the footprint going vertical and then being allowed to build as close as 10 feet to the north property line. And another thing I'd like to point out as well is with this strict application of the yard requirements per the zoning regulations, we would have approximately 11 feet on the street side to build in, and I think it's approximately 24 feet on the lake side. And then if you take the buildable area, we have just under 24% of our lot would be buildable. I believe that that's certainly a hardship with the strict application of the zoning regulations.
So, you're in compliance, so when I'm looking at this plan right now, on the southerly line, you would be within the 15 feet for everything on the southerly line, it's just the
Absolutely.
northerly side
That's
that,
all.
so
Yep.
you're just gonna be right on that 15-foot, line there, and then on the northerly side, you're looking for between the garage and the existing cottage, setback relief on that.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic because I've been working on this plan for I don't know how many years. We raised the structure in 2003, put it on a real foundation.
Yeah,
And since then, I've been playing around with the design, and when I started the design, the side yard requirement was a total of 25 feet with a minimum of 10 on either side.
yeah,
And since then, the zoning regulations have been amended, which created the non-conformance on the north property line.
hmm. Do you guys have any questions for the petitioner?
We'll hear from the zoning officer.
Yeah, you usually, if you guys have anything, you're looking at it, if you have any questions or whatever, we'll go through the motions on that. Garrett, Jason,
No?
nothing?
All
Okay.
set.
All right, so we'll hear from the building enforcement, the zoning enforcement officer, building inspector.
Good evening, Kurt Meskis, Building Commissioner, Zoning Enforcement Officer. If I may, the usual spate of handouts for the board and the secretary, I gave Justin one, right? And there's a few extras that right on. Give you a hand of that for me, I would appreciate it. So we're at an interesting juxtaposition of time here, because when I wrote this decision, the law hadn't changed.
Right.
And our wonderful legislature, as we've discussed, changed
Correct.
our considerations. So let's just play this slowly, all right? The usual set of photographs, the ortho, of course, disclaimed
you one?
because,
Nope.
because this is not a survey.
You got another one?
Correct.
I think he's got two.
Another one? Thought it- Sorry.
It's probably under there.
Jeez.
So the registration in our GIS and the ortho are off. The next page, the picture of 24 Willis Drive, below it 24 Willis Drive and 26 Willis Drive. Mr. Triplett's here, this is a property that we did a similar action for a number of years ago now. And this is nothing unusual in this neighborhood. It's like most of the lakes, we have lots of lots
Yeah.
that are small and that become pre-existing non-conforming because of the change in zoning. 28 Willis Drive, a little further down, this was a house that we dealt with a number of years ago. 22 Willis Drive was done 15-ish years ago. So we've been in this neighborhood before.
Yeah.
And we've been in similar things, and then across from 26 and 24 and everything, there's sort of there's a little bit of uplands, but there's a big swamp across the street. So there's not much there. So what's the question? Well, the question is if this wholly fit within the current setback requirements under the way I understand the law, is that I would be able to issue a building permit. Because the law now says if the nonconformity is because of area, shape, frontage, okay, then a permit could be granted as long as it does not offend the current setbacks. Well, the current setbacks are 15 feet on each side and 30 feet from the lake or high water mark and 30 feet from the rear. So this clearly offends the setbacks. And needs action by the board to grant a special permit, weighing that, is it any more detrimental to the neighborhood? The thing I do notice, and as Mr. Holmes, who I've talked to several times, I haven't met him personally,
No, you came out and inspected it.
I inspected, but I don't remember, okay? Well, 20, that was when I first started.
Exactly, yeah.
It looks to me that this garage offends the setbacks on both sides, so you need to be careful about what you're asking
That's
for.
because that's the roof plan, and that's the eave overhang, which
Okay,
is
so
normally
the
allowed, it's normally
Yeah,
allowed
okay,
inside here.
that's fine, that's a good explanation, all right. The gazebo that you say you're not gonna do anything with now, that would be considered an accessory structure, and that is governed by the setbacks also, so,
No,
either.
I'll state for the record that I'm not interested in getting any approval for any gazebo at this point.
No.
Okay, that's fine, just wanna offer that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
To you. So, here we are. Is the change, alteration, or extension any more detrimental to the neighborhood? And the reason we're trying to make that determination is because the proposed plan offends the current setback requirements. Thank you.
You're asking for a variance on this, not a special permit, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, 7-foot variance on the
That's what
north
he's
side.
asking for, is that what he needs?
start changing that around, you know?
Well, I thought I heard if we grant a variance, that the rest of it would be okay with the building commissioner.
Well, if we
For the
grant a
setback.
variance for all the things that he's asking for, I think the building commissioner would be okay with that, right?
I mean, just a setback.
Right, but he's already fine with everything else, just the setbacks are the problem, that's it. And the
Well,
frontage.
the frontage and the square footage of the
Right.
lot.
Yeah, the petition though was for a variance,
Yeah.
not for a special permit.
Well, you know, my advice to in my denial letter was that they needed to seek a special permit to change, alter, extend a pre-existing nonconformity. We have a pre-existing nonconforming
Yeah,
lot.
that would be the more, that's when I look at it, that's the most
And a
logical.
variance to do the lack of compliant setbacks for the proposed construction, which is how we've handled the, you know, until today,
Yeah,
or until July first, you know.
so with the change in the law, the only issue really is the setbacks, not even the frontage.
Well, but the preponderance is that the special permit, the change in the special permit was that if it met all the current setbacks, it had to seek a special permit.
Right,
Doesn't meet them.
But
it
if they-
doesn't meet all the
But
current
if they grant the
setbacks.
Right,
variance.
so it needs
does
a special
So it still
permit.
needs.
Right,
Yes.
No, but
Which
He does-
could,
I just want clarification though. If we grant the variance, doesn't it then meet the setback?
no, the setbacks are still the setbacks.
Okay.
You've given
So you can't.
relief.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take all the gyrations out of this. If we had a square lot and the setback was 15 feet, which it is in most of Charlton, the side setback, and someone wanted to be 10 feet off, that would be a straight variance request, right? The lot's got 60,000 square feet, 175 feet of frontage. It's not a special permit to change, alter, extend the pre-existing nonconformity. It's relief from,
Yeah, no, but you answered my question because just by granting the variance doesn't meet the requirement for the rest of it.
no, I don't think so. I don't think the variance does that. I think it needs the special permit coupled with the variance because of the setback issues.
So it's just like how we've done every other one around the lakes.
yeah.
We have to extend the pre-existing non-conforming.
Are you recording?
No, my wife's listening.
Oh, okay.
She's just listening.
I don't have a problem with it, I just, if,
No, not
yeah,
recording.
yeah.
No, no.
If we are, there's nothing that says that you can't record. It's just that I would have to just announce that it's being recorded separately by
Just listening.
everybody, that's all. So we need to grant, but I don't think he's got anything in here for a special permit,
He doesn't.
no. So he needs to request, we need to make a motion for that.
But he can request that here.
Yeah, let's just do that. But we'll do that at the end. All right. Do we have, I'll go through all the boards and commissions. Does anybody from, Conservation have any comments? Planning Board, Town Clerk, Town Administrator's Office, Selectmen, Assessor, Board of Health, Collector, Senior Center, Economic Development, Dudley Charlton Regional School System, Bay Path, Treehouse Brewery, nobody.
Don't forget Fay Mountain Farms, you called.
Bay Mountain Farm, that is town-owned, you're absolutely right. Is there any, other parties of interest or butters that have any comments or questions on this application? All right. Does, you guys have any more questions for anybody?
I'll make a motion to close the public.
Second?
Oh, yeah. There's a second on that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, now we deliberate. I don't see any problem with this. Oh, we close. We need to grant a special permit.
Oh, the special permit wasn't on.
It's not, and we close it.
Unclosed.
We can unclose it.
Just-
I make a
someone
motion to open it back up again.
Motion to ask the petitioner to, consider this as for a special permit as well.
Okay, so I make a motion, and this is for the petitioner, to ask for a special permit.
To amend your petition for a special permit.
Can I request to amend my application to include a special permit?
Yep. Is there a motion to accept that?
I'll make a motion to accept.
There's a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And this, so in terms of the deliberation, as.
again?
No, I don't think we need to do that. In terms of this, I think that this board in previous iterations has granted other special permits for other houses in this area, so I don't think, so one of the standards is for a special permit, is the proposed, I don't, I'm, are you okay with?
I understand it, yeah.
Okay. So, in my mind, I don't think this is any more detrimental to the neighborhood in
I would
terms of
agree.
any kind of variance that we're gonna grant. I don't think that given the shape of the lot along the lake, that it was set out originally from the 1950s is definitely unique and definitely causes them, you know, a hardship that way, although that's not absolute anymore.
Yeah.
On that, so I don't think there's any issue with this at all, so. I don't know if anyone else thinks about this, anyone else have any comments about it,
That seems like it'll bring it up to
to what everyone else is,
everyone else is doing.
keeping up with the Joneses in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah, 26 is right there, up and going.
Yeah,
So now the two separate motions, though, there's one for the special permit and there's one for,
the variance.
the variance.
Yeah,
But can they be done together, or they have to be done individually?
I would do them as separate motions, I don't think I would do them together.
All right, so we should do the variance first. So I'll make a motion for a variance of plus or minus 7 feet on the north side.
Is shown on the plan?
As shown on the plan, but, well, he has a gazebo on here.
No, that's not there,
Okay,
so we don't have to worry about that, that doesn't exist, I think it was proposed,
doesn't exist,
and
but
he's
it's
not
on,
putting it in.
but it's on the plan, doesn't make a
No,
difference?
Yeah,
Okay.
cause that's not gonna be 7 feet, I mean, that looks like it's a lot closer than 7.
That's a lot closer, yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to
Right,
include that.
Just say that, excluding the gazebo.
yeah, you can say excluding the gazebo. if you
So,
want.
fine, excluding the gazebo, which the petitioner mentioned isn't being built at this time.
Yeah,
So the hardship now doesn't matter, or?
no,
the-
special permit did that, the hardship being the shape of the lot,
Right,
right?
Okay.
Given the shape of the lot is the hardship.
okay,
It is an odd shaped lot,
okay, so then the hardship being the shape of the lot.
yeah. And then, is there a second on that motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Now a special permit, so you wanna just say the change, extension, alteration of the existing structure is no more detrimental to the neighborhood. The proposed is no more detrimental to the neighborhood.
Yeah, so, I'll make a motion, to grant a special permit to extend, the pre-existing non-conforming, structure as it is, no more detrimental, to the neighborhood. Yeah,
Shown on,
as shown on the plans, thank you.
Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. So,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. So here's what happens from here, is that, we'll prepare, the special permit of the variance, has to go to the town clerk. Sits with the town clerk for 20 days. At the end of the 20 days, you would come and pick it up. You need to record the complete copy at the registry of deeds, and then you would bring that back to the building inspector or the board for,
Is the 20 days an appeal period, or?
yeah, it's a 20-day appeal period. And it's, the 20 days starts when we submit it to the clerk.
That's fine.
So, I don't know, might be a couple of days before that happens, so, could be the end of this week or next week that it gets submitted, and then the 20-day appeal period starts from that. you're good to go. Good luck. When you put the gazebo in,
Stop by
maybe,
and see it when it's done.
maybe put a pizza oven in when you come back for the gazebo.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be doing that, but
No.
we'll give it some thought. Have a good evening.
You too, take care. All right, next, Ariel Lask, 83 Jennings Road. Okay. Okay. Saying that he was gonna speak, okay.
Sure.
So just state your full name for the record.
Do you want me to sit here?
Yeah,
Is this good?
that's good.
Okay. Marcus Winger.
Yeah. So just you wanna give us, propose what you're looking to do and the reasons why this board should grant relief?
Sure, so I think we did spell some of that out in the packet that was submitted. But what we're requesting is the 3.7-foot dimensional variance relief required from a 15-foot setback. There seemed to be some confusion on this property. When we went into design on this, this proposed garage, we were, as well as the homeowner, that there was an easement between the two properties and that the property line was at a different place than where it actually ended up being, because then with further investigation, it turns out that the Charlton Heritage Preservation Trust actually owns a small strip of land there, and it's not an easement.
Okay,
And so the way the property was set up, originally where the leaching field, the septic system went, and the area for proposed garage, what happens is it encroaches into the 15-foot setback by approximately 3.74 feet, and that's tucked over as far as it can be to the house. It's actually set behind the house a little bit, but just like enough so that the garage door can still be used.
okay,
So we're looking for that 3.7-foot dimensional relief.
okay. You guys have any questions?
No, so just to be clear, the garage is already there.
It is?
Right.
Yes.
Oh, so you're asking for forgiveness rather than permission?
However that works, yes.
That's exactly how it works.
That's why he was explaining the misunderstanding.
Okay.
So just a quick question, at what point in time did you guys find out about the misunderstanding of the land?
But when it was, after it was built and an as-built was requested by the commissioner, that's when it came to light.
So when the garage was built, you got all the necessary permits, went through all the other necessary boards?
Correct.
Okay.
All the survey plans?
Okay. Any other questions? I didn't realize it was already there.
Yeah.
Not the first one.
No, it happens.
It does.
Do you want to hear from the building inspector, zoning enforcement officer?
Yes, please.
Good evening, Kurt Meskis, Building Commissioner, Zoning Enforcement Officer. If I may, the usual handouts, please pass them along. One second.
Yes, sir.
Don't be holding out on us, Karen.
I live for these.
Yeah. Somebody screwed up. So this is a somewhat dated ortho. It isn't quite up to today's, but we see on the first page the house, the property line, and the not easement, but actual piece of land owned by the Heritage Preservation Trust between the two properties.
Okay.
We show 83 Jennings Road and the garage that has been constructed. We show 85 Jennings Road, the neighbor. And then on the next page, we show on the top of the page, the proposed 24 by 24 foot garage, clearly meeting the setback requirements and the property owned by Charlton Heritage Preservation Trust in between. During the process of inspecting this, it became concerning to us that because they had decided to locate the garage so close to the property line and as-built, I'm sorry, so close to the setback line and as-built was requested. And the as-built came through clearly showing that it's 11.3 feet from the property line. And clearly shows the strip of land, access land to the Charlton Heritage Preservation Trust land. And during an inspection of the frame for that building, the picture showing the garage being used for storage of miscellaneous materials. And then there's, for some reason, 2 pages of owls in a snowstorm. It's unfortunate that we're here at this point, but to me, it was clear during the permit application process that the property line and the setbacks were well known, that there was nowhere on any plan submitted to me or any plan that I can find related to this project that says this is an easement. Easements come with their own problems,
Right.
but,
No, I'm sorry. Can I say something in regards to that, just real quick?
Yeah.
Well, I think where the original, plan or plot plan that we were going off of, it was considered open space. It's calls it open space, which, yes, you're correct, more due diligence should have been taken into that, but it was the homeowner and our assumption that it was more of an easement scenario, so. yes,
The
mistake was
original
obviously
building
made.
plan, the original building plan, the open space is how many feet? On this plan, it doesn't say.
Do we have the original building plan?
I don't think it's 13 feet wide, is it?
I believe it is about 13 feet wide.
So, in the original building plan, were you 25 feet from the property line then? Is that what your the original plan submitted when you built the garage? And then you realized afterwards that it's only 11 feet? Were you more than 20 feet from the line?
I'm not sure if I have that all right in front of me here. But I know what we were pulling off of, cause on the property, like if you're there at the property, it looks like the property line is right in the center of that, the way the grading is done and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so we were pulling off of what appeared to be the property line. And then the overage was our understanding was the open space easement, but then turned out to be what we described.
Is the garage constructed in the place that was originally planned for? Is it in the location that it was? It's not like you moved it over from the original plan before construction?
As far as I know, yes.
That's hard to tell without seeing the original.
I know.
Kurt's trying to point something out.
Oh, is that the original, Kurt?
That is the plan presented for the building permit, showing the setback line and the garage clearly meeting the setback requirements.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
If the garage, or if the proposed structure had been shown over that setback line, the permit would have been denied.
It would have been here, right? Granted a variance.
Well, the first option always is to redesign your project to comply with the requirements. And then I'll say something about open space when you're ready.
You, go ahead.
So this is what we call a flexible subdivision. A flexible subdivision in Charlton is an allowance for a reduction in road area, frontage, lot size, in exchange for 25% of the raw property, so the big parcel that this was divided out of. to be deeded over to be preserved in permanent open space. Okay, so the open space is a deeded parcel that is owned by the Charlton Heritage Preservation Trust to be preserved for some recreation, you know, swamps, birds, stuff like that. And for that to work, the applicant who designed the subdivision has to provide access to that open space. And that's what this 13-foot piece of property is. It's not an easement.
It's the access point for
It
this
is an
open.
it is, it's a part of the larger parcel that's behind this. So it is not, you know, it's not an easement for someone to pass and repass. It's not a right-of-way. It is an actual owned parcel.
It's not on it, it's not obstructing it either. Closer than we would like.
I mean, the structure itself is not encroaching onto the adjacent strip there. The driveway definitely is, but that's not another thing.
Well, just looking at the fence next door.
Yeah.
So whose responsibility is it to enforce that? Well, I mean, the Heritage Society isn't here.
I mean, I think of it,
The Heritage Society doesn't really impact them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just in a butter, like anybody else.
I mean, I think if somebody came to us with a variance request for this in the first place, what are the chances, for me, I would have voted to approve it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at these.
There's a lot of land there. It's not like, well, at the time would have been, what's the hardship?
Yeah, or shrink it down or whatever.
Yeah, you could,
Yeah, it's a new property.
But we get to consider financial, not self-created
Well,
financial.
yeah, that's true, now we get to.
But it's
consider-
self-created though.
yeah, they created their own ownership.
Yeah.
Well, if you do notice, the property, like the way the septic was designed and everything, there is really no other place to put it, or it would have started impacting the septic system as well.
This is it right there.
I mean, I don't really have an issue with it.
What do you guys think?
Do we close the public?
No,
Portion?
you don't have
We're
to
still-
close it, yeah.
Well, I mean, it all goes back to this original drawing that they worked off of. So
Right.
they had a drawing, they thought they were conforming because that's the drawing that they were going off of.
Hmm.
Yeah, it seems like it was an honest mistake, whether it was due to lack of research, it's questionable, but
You can have them taking 3 feet off the garage if you want.
Park a motorcycle instead of
Well, a couple of things. I
Yeah.
mean, number one, we're looking at this drawing. Most of the time when people have to put these structures in, they do make sure that they are aware of where the boundaries are before they put it.
Excuse me, I didn't hear what you said.
They usually make sure where the boundaries are for the survey for the land before they put it. And then in addition to it, if they did apply for this and there were going to be changes to where they were gonna place the garage, they should have also referred back to you to notify you as well of that, correct? When people make changes for it?
Yes, and an
That's what
amendment
they-
to the plan or an
Correct,
amendment to the location.
Correct, and that wasn't also done as well,
they didn't
and
change the
so-
location.
huh?
I don't think they
They
changed
didn't
the
change the
location.
location.
though. I think they just put it in there.
put it in based on the
Yeah.
property lines they thought were accurate.
But what he
Yeah.
was saying was that they were clearly given this.
Yeah.
Can you re-explain what you said? You clearly said that they were given what? Again, they were given that plan that you showed. Yep.
This plan
Mm-hmm.
was part of the building permit application.
Correct.
And this shows the house as built, okay? And shows the dotted line is the required setback line. And the proposed garage clearly
Is on the correct side of the line.
is on the correct side of the line.
Yeah.
And this plan clearly shows this strip of land that is owned by Charlton Heritage Preservation. It's not an easement, it's not a right-of-way, and they made an assumption, as I heard them say, that they thought the property line was down the middle of that other, of the Charlton Heritage Preservation Trust land.
So this diagram with the dotted lines was developed by, came from the builder or it came from the town?
What this is this is from the application to build this garage. And this is an as-built from a plan showing the location. The proposed location of the house is shown in light gray, and the actual location of the house is shown in red. So that was a surveyed plan showing where the house was,
So it's provided by the applicant
yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
As the initial application.
or generated by the
Correct.
applicant.
Mm-hmm. And then where changes were made is the next step. Those were not.
Well, I don't, from what I'm understanding the
Yeah.
applicant saying, there was not a change made. Their intention is to build it where they thought, based on where they thought the property line was. Not where the property line actually was.
Correct.
Yes, you're correct in that. So when
Mhm.
our site crew went out to stake out the garage and get, dig the foundation and everything, it looked pretty clearly to us where the property line was
Mm-hmm.
because of the way the grading was done, the landscaping, all of that type stuff was done. And so they pulled off of that, I believe it was 17 feet to give us, to be within the 15-foot
Sure.
setback, and that's where the mistake was made. So there was, it was our understanding and then our crew going with that understanding. So we didn't know that we were making any change or mistake until, Curtis requested the as-built, and then we're like, oh, wow, what's going on here, so.
What's interesting is, it looks like it lines up the corner to the back of the house, which from the proposal, looks like it's where it's supposed to line up too, it's pretty much corner to corner.
Correct, yes, that
That's
is correct. It's set back a little bit on the plan, so it's a few feet behind the house, that corner. So the garage door is in line, if you know what I mean. So we couldn't have really pushed it any further away from the property line, and the garage still worked,
So when they originally staked it, they didn't take into account the 13-foot space. They went up to what they assumed was the property line
Which is
between the
probably,
properties.
Correct.
right, which is
That's
probably
it.
halfway between the 13 feet.
Right.
Correct.
And so
Yes.
the whole thing shifted
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, it's 7 feet.
Yeah, I'm just interested because on the plan, it looks like it lines up.
So
the picture looks like it lines up.
they built it exactly as they thought, based on where they were making an assumption about the property line.
Correct.
So what do you think?
Well, first off, it's there.
It's
Right?
there.
Yeah.
It's there.
It's there.
I have been
I-
doing this long enough
Yeah.
that we had a guy, an applicant, who built a garage and had to cut it off twice because he was over the property line. Twice.
Over the actual property line?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Came to get a variance, and it's like, you can't give you a variance to trespass over the property line. You need to cut it back, and they gave him a variance to be really close to the property line
He's still-
and then did not execute the removal properly.
The only one that I remember is we had someone come for a variance, I forget, it was an accessory dwelling. And he was over the setback, and he was on a zoning board in one of the adjacent towns. And he said, I built it and I should know better, I'm on the zoning board in that town.
Good ones.
Alright, so, we call, anybody from conservation, planning, town clerk's office, selectman, administrator's office, assessors, collectors, board of health, senior center, economic development, police, fire, any other board or department have any say, any abutters, parties of interest have any say in this?
Heritage.
The Heritage, they're not a technically a governmental body, are they?
I don't really know anymore.
Do we have anybody on the board have any more questions for the petitioner, anybody else?
Make a motion to close the public portion?
Is there a second to close the,
Second?
there's a second on that motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We get into deliberation. I mean, aside from telling the applicant that they need to remove the structure,
Yeah.
it's 11, what is it, 3.2 feet,
3.7, yeah.
3.7
Yeah, so we
feet?
ask them to chop the wall off and move it, or move the whole
I think
thing,
Curtis
or?
gave them three options in his letter, actually. One of them was
To reduce the size.
remove and reinstall the garage to comply with 15-foot setback.
Which sounds like it's not possible due to the septic.
Yeah, with the septic and
Yeah.
the house, where the house sits, wouldn't necessarily work. You'd have to put it like right in the backyard, really.
But they could shrink it.
They could do that.
Is that necessary?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean, mistakes happen. It doesn't look
They
like
do.
they're trying to steal space.
No, I don't think that's the case either. I don't think that it was, I mean, it might be somewhat negligent on the part of the surveyor not to do it properly. That's, yeah, I think that seems pretty apparent at this point, that the surveyor kind of messed this up, or whoever was doing the lot lines.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was the intention of the builder or the homeowner to try to do it outside the setbacks in any way at all.
No, I agree.
So if we were to grant a variance on this, the hardship would be the location of the septic system in the open space area.
How do you do a variance on an existing structure?
You just still grant the variance whether it's
You just
existing.
grant it.
Yeah.
Per the as-built, or?
It just as shown as, yeah, as current, you could just say it's currently constructed on the
As,
plan.
yeah,
Yeah,
as
that's just, I would
constructed.
just do it that way.
What side of the property is that garage on?
I'm sorry?
What side of the property? North side, south side?
South side, I believe.
South side.
So that's,
We should get confirmation. There wasn't enough confirmation. This originally went in.
oh,
No, there's it, right
you
here.
could say in accordance with the as-built provided by the.
Yeah, you just do it
enforcement
that
officer.
way.
I
Just
have
do it
the-
that way?
Cause it's already
I have the
constructed.
full as-built that's stamped and everything, so I can get that into the record, I just, clipped out what I needed for the presentation.
All right, so I can make a motion to grant a variance plus or minus 4 feet. In compliant with the as-built, the hardship being location of the septic, topography, and financial, because it's already built.
Yeah.
Second?
There's a second on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So there's a 20-day appeal period, you do need to record the full variance at the registry of deeds. If the surveyor is not under your employ, you may wanna have him do a little bit more, make sure that he gets the lot lines right. Is the guy that you relied on, is he one of your employees?
I believe so,
Yeah, yeah. Send him back to surveying school.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. We can't have this happen again.
No, no,
Well, lesson learned.
yeah.
No, I appreciate you guys working with us, getting through this for our
Yeah.
client, so.
All right, next on the agenda, good luck.
So do we need to wait 20 days?
You have to wait, so she'll prepare the variance, you have to, once it goes to the clerk, it's 20 days. In 20 days, the clerk's office will notify the homeowner. Someone needs to come down and get the full, variance, and it needs to be recorded at the registry of deeds. And then just provide a copy to the building commissioner's office.
Okay, and then you sign off on the final? Okay. All right, thank you all. You've been very helpful.
All right,
Have a
good
great
luck.
night.
So,
Thanks, Kurt.
what?
Saying thanks.
Oh,
For those who don't know, this is Justin Blaisdell, he's my local inspector, he's my the assistant.
Hi, how are you?
So I'm, he's been working with me for a year, he does most of the residential permitting and stuff, and I'm, sort of bringing him along to, if he chooses to fill, take my position when I leave. So
Wonderful.
he's gonna, start seeing some of the other things that happen out of the office. So,
fantastic.
You're leaving us?
no, not yet.
Oh.
He says he's not ready. I says, I can't cram 23 years in, it would take me 25.
All right, so, we have the, meeting, minutes from the last meeting.
Okay.
Does anybody have comments on it? Does someone make a motion on it?
Motion to accept the meeting minutes?
Is there a second on that?
I was
Johnny,
not here.
Yeah.
you wanna take a second?
Yes, you were not here.
I was not
So,
here.
Is it-
you get
Johnny is
to
a
not
second.
do it.
All in favor, say aye. Just the three of us need to vote that. Aye.
Aye.
You need to sign that too.
Yeah.
All right, next on the agenda is, do we wanna do that now? We wanna do that next month, ZBA member reorganization? Cause Rob's not,
Didn't you have some notes for us on that? Was that the one?
reorganization?
The reorganization?
No, it's just like, who's gonna be the chair, who's gonna be the clerk, who's gonna be that,
Sorry, the reorganization that I was referencing was actually because we only have 4 full members. So
Yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted to make an alternate a full member.
who was next in line for that? So the three of us can vote on that and just do
Yes.
that. All right, so so the way we've always done this is, if there's 5 full members, and then we have alternates, whoever was appointed,
Sure.
whoever has been appointed first, or has had the longest as the alternate, would be just automatically, we would vote in as the next full member.
Who did we lose?
Yeah.
Marco,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
You
Marco.
were not here the last when he announced it.
Yeah, yeah. I think he had a lot going on. He's got young children and all this other stuff. So, we'll just, I'll make a motion to accept Aljani as a full member of the board. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that's done. All right, so everyone got a copy of the administrative rules.
Yes.
Where's my copy here? So I reviewed them. I don't know if you got a chance to review them. Is that my, no, this is the one that I printed out today. The other day.
I did review them, Frank.
You did?
And I did have a question.
Yeah.
Are we going to do this over the course of at least 2 to 3 meetings?
We can, it's totally up to us.
Okay.
All right, so I had some additional comments that I had typed out, and I forgot to print out and bring them anyways.
Okay.
But, if we have certain comments now, we can do that and just do one final copy. This is, like, the regulations that we've had in place have been there since 1980 something.
I
Like,
saw.
we don't need to change it, like, if we don't change it in 1 week, I don't think it's gonna be a huge issue at all. So, it's, I just, like, the ones that are there, they need to be updated, and it is, if it takes us the course of 3 meetings to do it, then that's fine. But the other thing too is I didn't print out, there was 2 documents, there was one that was, the rules and regulations, and there was another two-page document that was said, like, procedures or whatever. I didn't go through that because the zoning since the chapter 48 changed, it's kinda changed that, so we need to go through and revise that.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
So once you guys are ready, because I went through it with a
Okay.
fine-tooth comb,
With a
so once
fine-tooth
you're ready to go
Okay.
through. I didn't know if we were gonna have like a working group on it or not.
no,
But I
well, there's
went
not
through
enough
all
of us that
three.
we would do like something
Okay.
separate like that.
Sure.
All right, so where first would you wanna start?
So as I was looking at all three documents, I was thinking more so of having kind of a consolidated kind of format
Yeah,
to put all of these in, because a lot of it were redundant with a lot of the information going back and forth.
this is this is the new documents, not the old ones.
So what what was submitted was the meeting procedures document. It was the zoning board of appeals public hearing practices and procedures.
That's what's existing right now.
Correct?
So I think I think that we're just gonna disregard that altogether.
Okay, so you don't wanna update it because some of the.
No, I think we're gonna replace it with the new proposed one. Because
Okay.
because that was very redundant, and had the same language in different places, and it was, in my mind, was disjointed in how it was set up. It was like they set up a set and then they did like a
Just kept
second
adding.
set and addended it, but it still said, it repeated some of the things that were in the first set. So I'm
Correct,
sorry to
and-
waste your time on all
No,
of
no,
that.
no, but the reason why I say it is that was my suggestion, is to do away with it.
Yeah.
But if we put it into a different format, like for example, there is site visit on this one,
Yeah,
and there's also site visit on the rules and regulations one. And the language is completely different on both of them, so we can kind of, if we're gonna do away with that, we can just
use the new one,
update
yeah.
the new language on
Yeah.
that one
Right.
and do it. So what I did is I went through and kind of looked at all the redundancies for both of them.
Yeah,
And then the 40A, I looked at where it changed for the different
Yeah.
information and then added that into it.
this is the new 48.
This is the new 40A, so based on the information that we have, hang on one second. There are actually,
That's the new one.
Yeah.
That's the proposed one that the town administrator sent to us.
correct,
Okay.
Right, so that's the one I think is, it's more consistent, I think, and it's more organized than what we have existing.
Yeah.
correct. And
So-
so, out of all of it, there are about 7 quote-unquote laws and regulations that affect all the documents. So there's like the 53G, there is the 760 CMR 56, and then we have the 40 that is also here. So all of those were in it, but they all got updated somehow with that. So I just went through and saw what was old language and updated with new. So whenever we're ready, I can
We're
kind of
ready.
read. Okay. Okay, cool. We'll jump right in. Which document do you want to start with first?
So I think in my
Let
mind,
me know.
I think, I looked at the proposed rules and regulations that were sent to us.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, and if you guys disagree or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the way that I would like to do it is at the end of the day, take the format for the new set that we have and make any just additions or adjustments to that set. And unless there is something in our existing rules that it is not addressed in the new set of proposed rules that was provided to us,
Mhm.
then we can add that in. But other than that, I don't think that we need to go back, we need to take anything out of those old rules at all. I think everything that's in these proposed rules pretty much covers that. And there's some things in the old rules that it didn't, as a practical matter, don't make sense to use at all. Like, you know, I told you guys, but this is before you were here,
Mm-hmm.
is the old rules had a set in it saying that we needed to make a determination of finding a fact before we vote.
Yeah.
And what happens sometimes is, we would come up with all the finding and facts, and we would vote on it, and then we would take the actual vote on the appeal or the petition, and the vote would be opposite to what we agreed on in the finding of facts at the end of the day. So, like, stuff like that,
Sure.
we don't need to do stuff like that anymore, you know?
So I'm just, I'm
The,
confused.
the old finding of, our existing rules say that we need, that if somebody gonna speak on behalf of an applicant, that, like, we need a written power of attorney or whatever, and I don't think that we really need that standard. Or, it also says that anyone that's giving testimony to us, and presenting evidence needs to do so under oath, and we don't really need to do that either. So, there's a bunch of things in there that, it's just not practical
just
for a
get
board
rid of.
like this at all. And maybe they just got it off of someplace, and who knows, you know?
So is this the only document we're working from, or?
Yeah, that's the
are there-
document I think that we should work from.
Are there additional attachments that go with this?
There's another document that has to do with procedures and variances,
Okay.
but since chapter 48 was amended, it refers to like the standard for a variance under the old, before it was amended versus the new one.
Okay.
So we have to go back and we have to put the new standard under the new chapter 48 and then go over that. So maybe we'll just have
So it's-
Dale in the next meeting, maybe see if she has time to prepare a, like, make those changes and give us a proposed one.
So the only redundancies would be in this document as it sits here, if there are any. There wouldn't be
Yeah, but there's
redundancies
some
from
things
other
in it, like,
documents.
I went through this document, and there's some things, and I think, Dale, you might have highlighted some of these things on that. So,
Yeah.
Highlighted is
yeah,
what
so
I
if you wanna, I
highlighted.
don't know if you wanna go right from the very beginning off of that document, or what do you have that you wanna address first?
So there was three, so just for clarity, there was another one that was a PDF. That was just a copy. There was three
I
documents.
believe that was the old one that you're referring to.
Yeah, so there
Yeah.
was three things. There were like a PDF document, and then the procedural document, and then there was a third one, the rules and regs.
Yes. So the rules and regulations, this
Yeah.
one that says section one
Right.
organization, was the
Yes,
one
this one.
provided, by our town
So
administrator.
on that document, is there
Mhm.
anything on that document that you see that you wanna change or make an addition to,
Mhm.
on that at all?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you got?
So, this was just like language, just the top one, 1.1.
Yeah,
Just a minor thing. A lot of times when people are reading it for clarity, I put ZBA in parentheses, and then I say also refer to the Board of Appeals, because people use it interchangeably, just for language type of thing, for that 1.1. Do you know what I'm talking about at the top?
So it's almost like a parentheses, ZBA,
Yes.
so that people,
Ex-
there's a
is-
designation of the,
You know what I'm saying, when
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're, yeah.
is there any other place in the,
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
oh, no, what I'm saying is there another, is there a spot in
Mhm.
the, if in the regulation itself,
Yep.
it refers to the zoning board of appeals as the ZBA, then you're absolutely right, we should be doing that.
but if it doesn't, if it's not abbreviated.
If it's
in
abbreviated
anywhere
someplace else in the
document.
document, I typically wouldn't do that. We can do that, just to be on the safe side, because I didn't really look at that at all.
I don't see any, but
Yeah, we
And
can
I
do
did
that.
it too, also too, for, as I looked at this, I was also looking at best practices for people who have already adopted this as well, if that's something that matters to you all. So the next one
Do you
is
mean
quorum.
other towns?
What subsection are you looking at?
This is 1.3.
1.3 or 1.3.1 or 1.
This is, 1.3 and then 1.31.
Okay,
For quorum.
yeah,
I felt that we could possibly, combine that into one section.
Chair may also So the only thing that I would say about that is this, is that the membership of the board is set by the selectmen. And statutorily speaking is that what our number is sets what our quorum is.
Correct.
So I don't think we need all of the language under the quorum. The one thing that I did, maybe we should change some of that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you guys think about the chair may designate other associate members. I don't even know if we need all that language.
And the only reason why I said combine it, because both of them are labeled quorum. One doesn't say like quorum for the board and one doesn't say like quorum, you know what I mean, for the meeting? Both
Yeah, I
of them
see what
say-
you're
Forum
saying.
for voting.
Yes, you know? So if we, were to delineate those two and say one is for, voting.
Public
one for-
hearings and one is for public
Exactly, then
meetings.
you could keep it separated, but because we did not have that,
It's confusing.
I said it was repetitive, and my thing is to just say, and I kind of did this paragraph, all meetings and public hearings shall consist of 5 regular members, because in the selectmen language, they use regular members versus associate. They don't use sitting unless you guys are okay with that, but I have I'll just read it out and you guys can tell me what you think. All meetings and public hearings shall consist of 5 regular members of the board. In case of an absence, inability to act, or recusal due to conflict of interest of a regular member of the board, the chair shall designate an associate member to sit in their place. The chair may also designate other associate members to sit as alternatives for an application. Alternates may be later designated by the chair to sit in place of a regular member in case of absence, recusal, or inability to act. And then after that, I said a quorum for meetings and hearings must have 4 members present to hear cases, take testimony, and vote on zoning applications, with the exception for administrative business, which was already there, such as conveying or adjourning a meeting or approval. So I just combined those two and just made it one. But if you guys want to still separate it and put quorum voting, then we can still keep the 2 paragraphs and just fix the verbiage associated with it.
How would that affect the cases where we don't have 4 people and we still vote to like continue it or whatever?
Well, you're not making,
Would that be considered 3 members constitute
Well, we
quorum
wouldn't
for
have a-
transactional? You're not voting, it's,
Yeah, but see procedurally, when we've had only 2 or 3 people here, we've done like open the meeting, close the meeting, continue stuff, because we don't have the people here to vote. So those are administrative or basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
But if we,
yeah, so that'd be routine
so it shouldn't say
administration.
it really shouldn't say 4 sitting members should constitute a quorum from all meetings and public hearings. It shouldn't say that then. Because we don't need 4 we need 4 members to vote statutorily for variances in appeals. I can't remember if special permits require a 4-member out of 5 to vote. But statutorily,
Yes.
we don't need,
Mm-hmm.
we don't need 4 members to vote for other things, just to make those decisions. So whatever requires a 4 out of 5 for a 5-member board, we would need 4 members present to vote. But whatever doesn't require that, we don't need 4 members to vote.
that's what I was saying is,
So there's
Yeah.
definitely a quorum for the purposes under the statute, so, but a quorum for other purposes is not 4 members.
so I think the wording 1.31 is fine, because it breaks that down. So I
No,
don't-
but it does say a quorum for 4 members, 4 members shall constitute a quorum for all meetings and public hearings. All right, so if we open up a petition Well, if we continue
Or
that.
continuance,
is that-
you have to
is
have
that a-
4 people here.
Is that a meeting or is that a hearing?
Yeah, so, like you said, if all of a sudden we're down, there's only
So
3
if-
people
if
here.
it- Yeah, if we were just gonna have a separate meeting to discuss this, that would be a meeting,
Okay.
right? So we would only need 3 members here, and we could vote on those things unless the statute or the town bylaw says otherwise.
Right, so the way it's written would limit our ability to do
Yeah,
something
but
like
the
that.
question is that if we're voting, we're not making actual determination on a petition or appeal, does that require the 4-member quorum? And the way that this is written, it kind of
It certainly
opens the
seems
gray.
like it,
Yeah.
you would require it. If it's a public hearing, you wouldn't be able to vote for a continuance if you only had 3 people.
So I think you're right, I think we should have one, that should just be one, thing, we should combine, cause it is confusing, it says quorum twice.
Cause also another example is that you came in late, we could have went through the minutes, which is part of our business
Right,
part, but we couldn't address any of the voting from the variance or any of that stuff, cause we would have needed 4 people in order to do the vote for that.
right.
But we could do general
So
business.
we need to clarify that
Yes.
before we do that. I
And-
think it-
Yeah,
I had a note on there, it just says, unless otherwise required by law, statute, or whatever, because certain things require certain things under chapter
Yeah.
40A.
so I mean, and we can define what administrative means and what the other one means to follow it, cause we could already did,
But I think what we what might be worth us doing is saying,
yeah,
what requires of 4 members present, and then everything else requires 3 members, you know what I mean?
correct,
Because you don't wanna,
limit yourself.
yeah, so, because we're required to have 4 members, we know we're required to have 4 members for, certain things.
mhm,
And then if we say that everything else only requires 3 members of the board, then it leaves us open that if we, because when we have a snowstorm in the middle of January and we have to put your 4x4 in full action to get here, and we have to continue the meeting.
sure.
Are there cases where 1 or 2 people could continue it themselves, or would you have to have 3?
Correct.
Well, I mean.
I think you
we-
could just call an emergency at that
We've had
point.
snowstorms where like I just showed up and like, all right, we're not having the meeting, we're continuing it. I'm not gonna make everyone like risk their lives to come in for
That's what I'm
zoning
saying,
board of
so,
appeals.
but if you say 3 people are needed, it limits that ability to even say 1 person can continue it if needed.
So what do you have to say, except for acts of God
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how we. yeah,
Emergencies.
I'm just thinking
I
through
mean, if they're
kind of
closing
worst
the
case
town
stuff.
hall, there's not really much we can do on that,
Yeah,
I mean, my main concern is losing our ability, if something's at the end of its date and we need to continue it and nobody can show up because of a snowstorm, do we have that ability to continue it with 1 person?
I don't know the answer to that.
no, we won't be able to,
No,
mm-mm,
hopefully we never get to that part.
If you're the only one here, don't walk in.
turn around and go home.
If you're the only car in the parking lot,
Don't
we're
come
not
to the
having a
building.
meeting.
So do we all wanna think about the language and come back to it?
Yeah, I think
Put a star
I think
next to it?
I think that's a good idea, is to
Okay.
combine that as one. And then we just have to further clarify what,
Yeah, that's a lot. We have to take this in sections, huh?
Yeah,
And now, do we have to, we can vote on the document as a whole, we don't have to vote
I
on.
think we should make all our changes over the course of the next couple of meetings. And then once we're all have a comfort level, then we just vote of the document
Okay,
as a whole.
and you only need 3 people for that.
Yeah. All right, you have anything else?
yeah, the section directly underneath it,
The Mullins Rule,
yes.
the bane of my existence? So, what comment, I didn't make any changes to that.
Should we say something like email is acceptable, or is that automatically acceptable in writing?
What, Mullins Rule?
Yeah.
No, the Mullins Rule is if
Does
you
that have to be
miss,
signed?
yeah, that has to be signed.
Yeah,
And I think I need to submit a copy to the administrator's office that you complied with the Mullins Rule. So we need 2 copies, one for the file, one for the town administrator, that you
Yeah.
get all the things necessary under the rule and comply with it, and you're able to vote in that meeting.
Yeah, I've seen the video, I've
Yeah.
signed the document,
Yeah.
voted.
So should it say wet signed, or does it matter? Or-
Yeah, I think, well,
Wet,
I mean,
wet sign?
Yeah.
I mean, electronic signature is legal. I don't see why an electronic signature is not in this case. Not that, I mean, if you're gonna be here, why would you not just sign it anyways? You know?
I'm just putting my lawyer's cap on, right?
Like, if you're gonna be
What
here
does
to
written
vote,
cer-
why would you just sign it?
What does written certification mean?
There's a form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
there's
just,
a-
I'm just asking if we should define it or not. If it
No, I don't
matters.
think you need to do that, cause there is a specific form that's presented, that the whole town uses.
Okay.
The reason why I say it's the bane of my existence, because we had an appeal years ago where one of the board members was not here. And I don't know if we had accepted the Mullins rule or not. I know this board hadn't even considered it. And there was probably anywhere between 100 to 150 people at each meeting. And the people that wanted this board member available kept yelling at me, you need to let him vote under the Mullins rule, and I'm like, no, like, he hasn't done any of this stuff, and I don't know, and so,
You just get hundred and fifty people to
oh, yeah. And no, that was the one that I told the other board member, I said, no matter what happens, half the people are gonna hate you at the end of this meeting.
I just have a question about that.
Yeah,
If the hearing extends over several nights,
yeah,
do we need a predictable kind of procedure for replacing or retaining the members? And will the record make it absolutely clear what each board member, quote unquote, reviewed for that continuance? Do you understand my question?
It's on the form. They have to
Okay.
write everything that they reviewed, the
Okay.
minutes, the video, the date that they missed, and what hearing it
I haven't
was.
seen the form, so
Yeah.
that's why I just
Yep.
asked,
Yeah.
because if it encompasses that,
Yep.
and
then-
luckily right now,
Yes.
with 6 members,
Yeah,
hopefully we don't have that issue.
okay.
But, you know, we've been at 5 members before, and if we, say 2 people miss, then we have a problem, you know, so.
Okay.
And it's part of the meeting minutes of the, whoever signed it and stuff, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a part of the record.
So it is recorded, it's clear who's done what.
Yeah. I've never had to use it, I don't,
Right.
so I really don't.
And then
so-
just one clarification on the spelling of it, is it M-U-L-L-I-N? Cause that's the spelling I kept finding, it said that's the correct spelling
I have
of
no
it.
idea, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
it's the correct spelling.
That
It's
I
Mullins.
found.
So
I
it's
think
so
it's
spelled
somebody's
incorrectly.
name.
Yeah, so you gotta
Yeah.
change
Somebody's
that.
name.
Yeah,
correct it.
it's spelled
Yeah.
incorrectly,
Yes, I am.
yeah.
That'd be
You
easy
saw
to
the same
look up
thing?
at the MGL.
Huh?
That'd be easy to look up that
Oh,
general.
I was enjoying this a little too much. I'm the one who always reads the fine print on the insurance stuff, so I kinda geek out on this information,
Read all
so.
150 pages of
So
your
are the
mortgage
odds, is
closing?
there any?
Huh?
Read all 150 pages of your mortgage closing?
Oh, I did, yeah.
You did not, did you?
I actually did,
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
They were not happy with me, but that's okay. You have to read what you sign,
Yeah, I guess.
cause you're responsible for it. Oh, come on! Exactly.
Having done probably 15,000 real estate closings over my career, yeah, I guess. The only people that I really had consistently read closing documents were, there was a certain, like, people that had recently immigrated to the United States from third world countries where there was a lot of corruption, that they, like, they didn't trust the documents. And a lot of times I would try to send them a day in advance so they could read it, like, okay, let's just sign at this point, But I was down to, like, I could probably do a closing one every 25 minutes. I mean, I was down to
Wow.
a science, yeah. I could do like 6 to 7 closings before noon, yeah.
It's even quicker now because they e-sign half the stuff
Yeah.
before they come.
Some of it's 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Which I think is more dangerous, but that's another
I
point.
agree.
What else do you have?
On this document.
Hmm,
I think the annual meeting one.
That's the one that's highlighted.
Yeah.
But
We haven't had an annual meeting.
no, we used to do it after the first meeting after the new fiscal year. We would create, we would reappoint chair, vice chair, all that stuff. Usually we would do that.
Did you do team building, like we could do it at Treehouse?
No, we could do that if you want. We can do a meeting there if you want.
I think it's, it should be on the table.
We can call a meeting anywhere we want. Doesn't have to be at the town hall. As long as it's
Good
published
idea.
48 hours in advance.
Okay.
Okay.
My birthday's coming.
When is it?
It's the 18th of October.
Just, if we're gonna do that, it just has to be on a night that they're serving pizza. That's all I say, okay?
Yeah, they got a nice pizza.
They have good pizza there.
Oh.
They got a
then
nice
I
pizza.
They don't do it every
know.
day though in Charlton. They do it
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like 4 days a week or something like that, and they
Is
only
it a
do it by
food
the, like,
truck?
no,
No,
they
no,
actually
it's a-
they have a pizza oven in
It's
the.
like a ceramic outdoor pizza oven, wood fired.
They,
Oh.
they have one outside too?
Yeah, there's a dome in just outside the pergola.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
So is the question to strike the whole section, or?
No, I mean, is the first Tuesday in December or just, I think we usually would do it the next meeting following the beginning of the fiscal year. So the fiscal year begins July 1st. That next meeting.
So
we
it's
would-
part of the meeting.
Yeah, we wouldn't do a separate, we never did a separate meeting. So we would set like the organization of the board every year. If we were gonna change the fees, for the application, we would typically look at that once a year. We haven't done that in,
I mean, I've been here 6 years and I don't remember any of this being part of any of them ever.
no, I think, I don't remember when we did it or whatever. We had some turnover or whatever, but that's, initially, that's what we would do. Would be in July. And no, we wouldn't look at the fees every year, and I think we've only looked at the fees since I've been on the board twice, maybe.
Okay.
And my take on the fees is that the purpose of the fee is to cover whatever administrative costs associated with it. It's not necessarily to generate revenue for the town.
Do they cover the cost of Dalen?
Probably not, but, well,
I'm sorry.
Do the fees that we collect cover your salary?
probably not.
Then should we examine that?
Yeah, I mean, do you wanna make it so,
I don't know.
given the amount of applications that we have, we'd be charging like $1,500 an application. She makes like, close to 7 figures,
Nice.
Just a hair off.
No, just because you were saying we're trying to make the
She's
fees
paying
to cover,
for treehouse.
cover the cost.
Your sport and treehouse.
So besides that, the other thing is 2.4. We also reference voting again
Yeah, I think,
for that part.
I was looking at this.
Yes.
In 2.3 and 2.4, I think we should remove completely. I don't think I think we don't do any of that stuff at all. We don't review, we don't approve plans, signs, or other items or conditions or whatever. I don't think we need either one of those in there. I think they should be removed completely.
I was just waiting for someone to say it. I thought the same myself.
Yeah, like, it's not even applicable to us in any way.
The next section is section 3 for public hearings.
Yeah,
That was the section that really went hand in hand with the new rules as well. So if we jump, I don't know if anyone has anything before that, but 3.3, public notice.
yeah, that needs to be changed to
That's
quite,
Oh,
the
yeah, we
one
got
where it
some new-
definitely, so like the notice of the public hearing shall be published twice in each of the 2 consecutive weeks. That goes off this. So I just went ahead and just changed the language, but take your time, look at it as well.
I think whatever the changes under chapter 48 is, it needs to just be adjusted that way.
Okay.
My issue is 3.2, and I had typed out like a paragraph and a half for 3.2. So the way that the open meeting law is written, so I think that all public hearings have to be open to the public without limitation, except for executive sessions, which I don't think we need to necessarily address, because that's not a public part of the public hearing. But the second paragraph on this, no person shall be excluded from attending or speaking in a public hearing unless determined by the chair with good cause to be a serious hindrance to the working of the board. So the way that the open meeting law is written is that it's, that any questions, and this is not, I'm not looking at it as me being chair, I'm just looking at it as the chair in general. So the way that, I was reading, something from the AG's office on that, and the way that they have it written is that any questions or testimony, any questions, would be presented through the chair the chair would just, you have to be recognized by the chair to speak, and that the chair would have the authority to, recognize someone or tell the room to be silent, and then if someone was disruptive, that the chair through the board would have the authority to remove that person, from the meeting. And it does say that although, I'm sorry, I can't believe I forgot to print it out, it's sitting on my computer. Although that it is not required that everyone has, so the board doesn't have to recognize and let everybody in the room speak. That's not required under the open meeting law. That we don't have to do that if we don't desire to do that. Now, my take has always been that we should allow anybody that has something to say to speak. And if it doesn't relate to zoning, then we would just say, look, thank you for, your participation, but, we're only dealing with zoning matters. Because a lot of times people will bring up stuff that has nothing to do with zoning.
Throwing gasoline.
Yeah,
And it also says, like, the
You were there
chair-
for that one, that
I was
put
there for
gasoline on
that.
the.
Throwing
like,
gasoline.
Okay, that's great, but that's not.
Call the fire department.
Yeah, so anyways, I think that just to say that we have to allow everyone to speak is not following the law, and I wanna change that part of it. And I can email you that when I get home, and that we can discuss that the next thing, cause the second part of that says, there was a second part of the paragraph that talked about in terms of speaking, what the hell was the other part of it? Was it removal?
Is it the one that says the chair may limit repetitive or unnecessary lengthy comments?
No,
Is
it was
that the
something,
one?
it was something different, and I can't think of what it was. Oh, it had to do with recording. So, at a public hearing, a member of the public can record, they can bring their own device to record. But the member of the public needs to notify the board that they will be recording. They can put their recording devices close to us or wherever they wanna be.
Sure.
But, and then the board needs to notify the public that somebody else is recording. It's not a big deal, as long as it doesn't impact the meeting in any way, but it's still, we still need to put it in there that if you can do this, but you need to notify, and that was the other part of it that I wanted to add in there.
Okay.
So, extensions, 3.4. So, it says that, so open the hearing, public hearing within 65 days, that's still correct, right, 65 days? That the required time limits may be extended by written agreement by the applicant. I think we should keep that by written agreement. If we're in the timeline, we could continue, up until the end of the timeline, but if it looks like that we won't have the thing resolved, our two options are to ask the applicant to extend the timeline in writing, in which we would vote on the extension. If they refuse to extend, then the other options that we have is to vote then, right then and there, and make a decision, or, we don't do anything and then it's constructively approved, which I don't really wanna do.
No.
I think that's fine the way it is.
I got a question, it doesn't necessarily go in here, but should we have a form that we can hand them at the meeting?
You know, I was
give?
thinking about that. We don't have a form right now. Usually we would just give them a piece of paper
Yeah.
and
That's
say,
what I was
hey, you know, maybe we should come up with one, you know, just, an extension
Extension
form.
form.
I created one.
Did you?
I have a draft of one that
Oh,
I can
okay.
give to the board.
Yeah, so we can formally adopt that if it
Yeah.
works, yeah.
Okay.
Do you bring one to every meeting, just in case?
No,
Oh,
I've just been working on it. I
Yeah.
didn't know if you guys would be interested in it.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, representation and absence. So our old set of rules essentially said that if someone is gonna, like, that contractor that came in place,
Mm-hmm.
technically, I think our existing set of rules say that they would need like some sort of written power of attorney in order to,
Acting as an agent.
act as an agent. Traditionally, we would just require written authorization from the applicant. And that's not necessarily a formal writing. We would typically accept like an email from this person will be speaking on my behalf at this meeting.
Yeah.
If the applicant's here and they have, you know, the contractors, it's not an issue at all. But if they're not gonna be here, I think that we should have at least some sort of something in writing for the file and for the record that says that the applicant designated X person to speak on their behalf. So I think, under 3.6, an applicant may present an applicant in person or be represented by an agent or attorney. We should add something to say that the applicant shall provide written notice to the board of,
Consent
written notice of the designated attorney or agent to speak at the hearing.
So just be represented by an agent or attorney with
I
written
can send
notice.
you what I have.
Oh, do you thought the same
Writ-
thing?
Like written authorization, and then it says like the designated representative.
Yeah, yeah.
Has consent. I can.
Yeah, yeah.
When we start emailing, I can.
Yeah, well, we can't do that, we just send it to her.
Yeah.
Cause if we start emailing
No,
to
no,
each
no,
other,
no, no,
yeah.
but I mean, you said you're gonna send yours, so when we start.
Yeah, I'm gonna
she's
send it to
gonna
her and
send it
she's gonna send it to
all
us,
of
yeah,
us, so.
yeah, I
She's
can't,
gonna circulate.
yeah,
the
cause if we
emails
start
to-
doing that,
No, no, no.
it's a meeting,
But
yeah.
we're all gonna see it.
If only if there's three of us present in the
If
event.
there's three of us, it's ain't making any
Well,
determination.
just one person.
Alright, so I just, can I,
Yeah.
can I go back, let's see. On, can we go back to section 1.2?
Okay.
No, we already went by that.
No, it's too bad, so in the highlighted section,
Mhm.
it says, all notices, this is the administrative secretary. Your technical position is not administrative secretary though, is it?
I'm not sure.
You have a designated, it's not administrative,
My official title
Yeah.
is land use assistant, since I work for conservation and zoning.
Well, let's add
I don't think I
ZBA
wanna-
assistant to that too.
yeah, so let's not to put secretary in there.
Okay.
Administrator.
Yeah, just figure something we'll put out, maybe even more in line, whatever your
Okay.
official title is, should be in there.
Okay.
And then instead, it says that part of their role is to send all notices, review application for compliance with the zoning bylaw rules and regulations of the board. She doesn't do that, and we don't want her to do that.
No.
So I think we should just take out the part that says for compliance with zoning bylaws and regulations, and just put review applications to ensure complete application. That's what it should be replaced as. Cause what typically we do is that the application is submitted to the town clerk's office, and then the clerk will bring it to Dale to take a look at. If it's incomplete, it goes back to the clerk's office, and then they get notified that the application's incomplete. 'Cause once we have, once the application is submitted, we had an issue with this, that a petitioner submitted an application that was incomplete, and then said, well, because I submitted it, that starts the clock running for the meetings. So we don't start the clock until we have a complete application. And we had a problem with that once. He's actually a pretty good guy, but we still had a problem with it. So I think that we should say to ensure a complete application with the zoning bylaws and regulations, that's what it should say on that. We already did that. The supplemental information within 72 hours of a scheduled meeting. We do accept, and I had put some stuff in that writing too. So we do accept documents at the meeting, and that is supplemental to the petition.
Must be submitted at least.
So what now, we don't put a rule in there that we want, so if someone brings something in a day before the meeting, you usually will put it in our packet, right?
Yes.
So we could do a couple of things, I think. We could leave that in there and add some language in there that any documents, any supplemental information or documentation provided to the board, within the 72 hour, less than 72 hours from the meeting, then it would be up to the board's discretion to accept those documents.
It already says that.
Does it say that?
Yeah. It says unless deemed appropriate at the discretion of the chair. The board will not consider blah, 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 unless deemed appropriate at the discretion of the chair.
And do you wanna make it to just the chair's discretion or the board's
Say
discretion?
the board.
I think it should be board, and the way I was looking at it in 3 parts. There's routine submission, late submission, and then material late submission.
Okay, I don't know if you wanna get that technical.
And the only difference is that with the supplemental information received at least 72 hours before the scheduled public hearing, that's the routine submission. The late one is received less than 72 hours, and that's the one where the public hearing shall be identified by the chair at the meeting. The board shall determine whether the information can reasonably be reviewed and considered without, and it goes so forth. And the chair may, in consultation with the board, and we can fix this language, decline to place a late submitted information before the board for consideration at the time of hearing. And then the last one is the material late submission, which is if the supplemental information submitted less than 72 hours before the hearing is deemed by the board to be material to the application or reasonably likely to affect the deliberation of it. So sometimes you might get information that just might not be able to support it. I mean, I can send it so you guys can look at it.
Yeah, send it over. I don't know if we wanna get that hyper-technical on this. 'Cause you have to think about it this way, is that, do we want to be too technical that, and we have to think about, like, we're changing these rules now.
Correct.
How long are I'm not gonna be on the board forever. My wife will probably end up hitting me in the head with a shovel and bury me in the backyard.
You and
Something.
Curtis
No.
retiring at the same time?
Yeah.
She won't.
You and Curtis should
Yeah.
do dual retirement.
Yeah, so, I'm a little younger than him. So anyways, so do we wanna, do we wanna make it so at some point that the board makes it more difficult for people to do things than we want them to do? Do we wanna be practical and reasonable? You have to figure
Yeah.
that these are our neighbors, people live on our street, that we see in the town.
I'll send it and you
Yeah,
guys
send
can
it,
look at it
and
and see.
we can take a look at it and
Yeah.
go there from there.
I think it's
But
important.
I
that
think
something's
though,
there.
I don't think it should be the discretion of the chair. The only downside to that is is that if we do that, then we may have to take a vote every time someone gives us a piece of paper.
True.
Unless, but only if somebody protests on the board.
No, I mean, we're making these rules up, so every time that someone submits extra paper or anything like that, like Kirk gives us these things, this is
Yeah.
supplemental information, we would
Yeah.
have to vote every time that, see, Kirk got up and did that.
But how many times have we gotten pictures from somebody that they didn't have in the file?
Right.
I think what's important is if it doesn't come within that 72-hour period, it allows us to do an extension so that we can process that
Right,
information. We
but
just
how
had
is
to
it
do that
approved?
2 meetings ago.
But how do we approve it, is the question.
So, just for clarification, when the information comes in, typically like the late one, and you say you just include it in the packet, we would get that before the meeting, but if anything came after, let's say we're having this meeting now and it came after, we wouldn't know about it until the next meeting?
No, I would inform Frank.
You'll let us know ahead of time?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, and if
alright.
we keep this in the rules the way it is, technically if something
Correct.
comes in the day before, we would have to vote on it before we accept it.
Yeah,
But at the discretion does not necessarily mean at the vote of the board.
This says the board will not consider it unless it's under the discretion of the chair. So, you know, my feeling about anything that someone submits is that I would take everything, just because, number one is that if it's a member of the public that's submitting this, why do I wanna exclude that? Like, I wouldn't wanna be excluded even if I was late on something, so why do I wanna do that to somebody else, right? You know what I mean? And, you know, if it's helpful for us for deliberations, then why would I not want it, you know, regardless of when it came in?
Well,
But
what if-
but
what if
the
we leave
problem,
it-
the problem is that you send us the packet 2 weeks beforehand, and if it comes in after that, we wouldn't necessarily, you don't necessarily send it out again. So if more information came in other than the packet, then you wouldn't necessarily send that to us. We wouldn't know until we got to the meeting.
So luckily, I haven't had that happen yet,
Yeah.
where I've gotten the extra information and not sent it to you guys. So going forward, if you would like to direct me on how I should approach that.
That's what we're writing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think it might be better to leave it discretion of the chair procedurally, just so there doesn't have to be, because I think you're right, I think a vote would be called for based on how it's worded. If we say in discretion of the board, I think we should vote.
every time that the supplemental, we'd
Whereas-
have to vote, and I don't,
Whereas
And
if,
if you're
where if it's
allowing
left to
it to
discretion
come
of the
in.
chair,
but I'm not always gonna be the chair, that's the thing.
whoever.
Yeah,
but whoever's
have
the
to
chair has the, I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna vote a chair in, right?
right,
And they can still take the opinions of the rest of the board before they make their decision.
right.
I mean, I like it the way it's, if
Okay.
it's a chair,
Okay.
you know?
If we got a problem with the chair, we boot them,
Yeah.
if we can.
You could
Can
boot
you
the
can
chair.
if you want.
You can boot the chair.
We love Frank, we're talking about Frank's replacement.
You know, I'm the only,
Where's your shadow?
I'm the zoning bylaw has been in effect since what, 1986? I am only the third chair of the zoning board of appeals. There's only been 3
Really?
chairs.
Wow,
That's kind of a weird, that's kind of crazy, isn't it?
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Is there a plaque or
No, you get an attaboy after like 20 years, I think.
Adam?
I know
That's what they
somebody-
gave Ray.
I know
I think
somebody
they
can
gave
design
Ray
a
a-
plaque.
I think they gave Ray the guy that was the first chair, he got deposed once, and he wanted reimbursement for him losing time at work. And they wrote him a check for $5, and he's like, I'm never gonna cash it. I think he framed it. Right?
I hate to, we're making good
Yeah.
progress
Yeah.
here, but we gotta have to do this in chunks because
Yeah.
I do
I think
have
we should
something
call
to
the
do
meeting
at
tonight.
9.
Yeah. So I'm gonna,
I'll make a motion to end the meeting.
is there a second on the
Second.
motion? I think we have good progress on that. The second from Jason, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
Okay.